Folks, we're running a bit late tonight, so most of us have forgotten to download the update, so there's been a few of us that had to hold off a little bit. Let me just turn some things on. So quali has actually started. They have just fired up the quali session now, so as I say, let me just fire up the stream in case you guys want to chat or whatever. At least I can see what you're talking about. Right, so we're in. Let's put all the usual camera bits and bobs on for you lot. So Baggy Snails, this man's lobby. He's actually head honcho at P1. Front man on track, Dylan Curtin. So it's a half-an-hour quali and then a half-hour race. I'm not sure if they've shortened it to 20 minutes actually. I know there was chat about it, possibly dropped it to 20 minutes unless Baggy Snails just messed that one up. So we will run through the order. So Dylan in first, then with a 44.6 on that last lap. Steve Scooby, 44.9 for Steve. Another awesome darksmoka livery there. Thank you, Steve. Dory, he's got a 45.1. He's currently in third. Rear wheel 72, 45.4 for rear wheel. Potter McPot, good friend of mine, also rocking an amazing darksmoka livery car there. He's on a 45.4. 420, in the middle of a bit of a fight at the minute with Stewie Mac and Dory. So he's currently in 7th with a 45.8, just running himself a little bit wide through there. So this is one of the American boys we have racing for P1. Dory's trying to get a toe off Stewie Mac around this course. So it's the Indy circuit tonight. It's a shorter course. It cuts off just there where Stewie Mac's decided to go off-roading. Again, so let's change off Stewie Mac because he does seem to end up on the grass every time I flip my camera to. So Mad Quack, I don't know Mad Quack. Not sure who he is within the P1 community. New driver for me tonight. Tatey Lives. Cheers for subbing earlier this week, my friend. Thank you, sir. So just 12 in the lobby at the minute. I don't know whether we will see any more. There has, as I say, we did all forget, or not all of us, but a lot of us did forget to do the update today, which means we might get a couple of latecomers. I don't know what they've got the lobby set at. I don't know whether latecomers can still turn up these days, whether that's just built into the lobby settings, or whether it's an option you can change, I don't know. Time a little bit then Dylan, 44.5 for Dylan. This man's doing alright in the MRC time trial event that Dennis Shewer puts on. He's into the top 4 of that, so anyone could enter that. It was just a case Dennis from MRC popped out race criteria, so track criteria, which car, which track, which settings. You went and stuck a lap time down the best you could. You send that lap time into Dennis and you see whether you get through or not. Dylan being one of those, so he's managed to get through. Evening watchers, I hope you're all okay. Dory, how you doing, brother? Pay attention to the race, not the stream, alright? Current standings for this series. Let me just pull those up. So the man we're on board with currently, Mocking Weeks, he is leading this championship at the minute. Only by 1 point. It's 79 points for Mocking Weeks. Raul Cien in second with 78 points, but Raul has He's been missed the last 3 weeks, either due to injury or lost at sea. I don't even know whether the boys had heard from him since his trip over to the UK. So he's currently sitting in second. Zuzim's currently sitting in third. Big Les Kun in fourth. Zuzim's on 73, Big Les Kun on 70 points. Dory currently sitting on 67 alongside the Dom Dotter, so both of those on 67. On 64 points just behind is Baggy Snails. We've got Rear Wheel 72 right behind him. He's got 48 points. I read that right, I think I've just missed someone out. No, sorry, he's got 63 points. So I've slid down the order while looking at the points. So behind Rear Wheel is Steve Scooby. That's this man here, rocking a massive great darksmoka livery. Cheers, buddy. As I scroll across, I seem to lose people's places. He's currently sitting on 54. Why am I losing my place? Potter McPot. So he is down in 10th place currently with 48 points. 39 points right behind him is West Ham Daz. Got Dylan, he's missed a few of these races, so he's down 33 points. We've got Stewie Mac in 13th, he is on 33 points. Superfast Bob, so he's been in and out of this league, missed a few races. So he's on 31 points, 14th on 21 points, and 15th. Katie Lives, Scottish Owl, another driver we've not seen for a while. He's currently sitting on 20 points. 13 points is Dizzy AL3. We have Champ with 4 points. Right at the bottom of the pack is Weeking with 3 points. So that's current standings in the series so far. This is round 8 of 10. So let's just go and have a look at lap time, see if anyone's bettered there. So Dylan Kilton still with that 44.5. Mocking Weeks again, 44.6 for Mocking. He currently leads this championship we've just mentioned. Dory. Just chatted about him, he's just popped up on the stream to say hello. So Dory's up in third at the minute with a 44.6 as well. Well, there's only 4 thousandths of a second between Dory's time and Mocking Weeks, so nothing in it then. Steve Scooby not managing to better that 44.9. Rear Wheel sitting in 5th place with a 45.0. Potter Pot in 6th with a 45.0 as well. There's only 3 thousandths of a second between those two. So 11 minutes into quali. Mad Quack, 45.5. We've got Baggy Snails on a 45.6. So some real good liveries on the cars as well. King, his fastest lap not on there. What's he got? A 46.3 is his fastest lap on there. Stewie Mac, a 46.1 for Stewie. That's 10th place for Stewie. Loudest car on the grid. All the boys got a big darksmoka sticker on their car. Cheers, boys. Much appreciated. West Ham Daz in 11th then with a 46.2. Tatey Lives just dropped in the pits, so his fastest lap is a 46.7. So these little Toyotas have been a right little blast. It's been some tight racing. It's always put on short courses, so it is leery as anything, as you can expect. I think slipstream's on quite high. Don't have boosts on actually. So it does allow the guys to catch up pretty quick, but if you drop off the back, I think it's just slipstream that's on pretty high. if you drop off the back of the fight you're in, you do struggle to get back into it. But if there's a bunch of cars in a fight, it'll make for some good action for you guys. Pot, then he's pushed himself up into fourth with a 44.8. That's knocked Rear Wheel and Steve Scooby down a spot. Pot just hanging out of the way as Mocky Weeks comes through. So yeah, good personal friend of mine, Pot. Clean racer. He's won a few championships actually himself, and I can't remember the other guy's name. Won NGR's Race of Winners. He also won the GT3 League that started yesterday. Won last season's GT3 League. Now into season 15. First race yesterday at Bathurst. And tonight we're at Brands Hatch Indy with these Toyotas. Steve Scooby just going for a bit of a drift in the background. He's Steve Scooby 555 and he's got 666 on his car, so I wonder if he tried to get 666 and it was already taken. So there was talk during the chat during the week, people saying that everyone's going to be off on the first corner. We'll see about that. Down into 7th then. He has betted his time at 45.2 for Baggy. Big Les Cunn's in the room. Let's hope he gets on track. I know in some of the lobbies, if you don't join before quali starts, it doesn't actually let you join the race or quali, so let's hope he manages to get in. With more people in the lobby, it does make for better racing. So still only 12 in at the minute. Tatey Lives give it a bit of a drift then. So let me just find my track map again and we will see if we can go on board with... Let's go on board with Potomac Pot. If I can find the right combination of buttons to allow me to do it. Sometimes it lets me, sometimes it doesn't. It's a bizarre setup. No, it's not letting me this week. So who knows what's going on with that. But let's go on board with this view with Potomac Pot for a lap. So he's just come round Paddock Hill Bend then. Round Druids. Down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend. Oh, it's just losing the back end. So this will be a write-off for Potomac Pot. He has just slowed down and pulled right over. So let's see what Stewie Mack's got. Dylan Kjorton's got then. So he's now coming through the Cooper Straight into McLaren and into the Clark Curve. And onto the Brabham Straight, which is the start-finish straight. And back into Paddock Hill Bend. So he has bettered his time a little bit then, 44.4 for Dylan. He also just running it a little bit wide there. So Potomac Pot up to second then with his 44.5. Let's push Mocking Weeks down into third. He's not managed to better his time yet either, still on a 44.6. So Dory, his fastest lap not currently showing up. But if Mocking Weeks is on he He's on a 44.657 for Dory, even though his time's not showing up there. Steve Scooby, his time as well not showing up, so plenty of laps being put in by these boys. 45.0 for rear wheel, that's pushed him up into 6. Big Les Cunt is in the room, good to see. 45.1 for Big Les. So Baggy Snail's been pushed into 8th then with a 45.2. Mad Quack down in 9th with a 45.6. Just getting it all wrong into that first turn then. Sticking himself back in the pits. So Rose Mike, I don't know if Rose Mike's part of P1 or whether he's just decided to try and join this lobby. We'll see. See whether he stops for the race or whether somebody boots him out. So you will see the boys jumping in and out of the pits during this qualifying session. Not so much Dylan Curtin. Let's just go and have a look at Baggy Snails in 8th. So he is also just hanging about in the pits. West Ham Daz is just hanging about in the pits. So I was going to say you might see guys in the pits. Mocky Weeks is in the pits. He again is just hanging about. So you may have seen guys diving in and out of the pits, changing tyres just while they reduce fuel. He's going for it. New set on rubber and he's off. So he's got West Ham Daz inside of him. So they've all just come out of the pits then for a bit of a rip, try and increase those grid positions. Big P1 logo on the side of Mocking Week's car. That's there it is. Also rocking the Darksmoka sticker. Thank you, brother. CJ, evening, mate. How you doing? You got anything on tonight? You should find yourself. This one, mate. Yes, Baggy. This should be fun. It's going to look quite feisty around here, I think. Should have got involved, Chris. You'd have enjoyed this. So Mocking currently in 3rd place then. You'll have to remind me, Baggy, is it... okay, mate, okay. Is it 20 minutes quali or is it half an hour quali? I know you like messing it up, Bags, so... anything's possible. Yes, there will be some rubbing, mate. Just there. So we'll have to see how the guys get on in that first turn. As I say, these cars are going to be feisty little things, and as everyone knows, the race can't be won in the first corner, but when the old red mist comes down and you drop the hammer, well, you know, anything happens. Yeah, they are a good bunch of lads, mate. You should get involved. You'd enjoy it. They all have a party chat and they all talk to each other, and you know, yeah, good bunch of lads. But don't tell them I said so. "30 minutes, Bags, good lad." So we have got a few more minutes left of this quali then, 9 minutes left. Plenty of time for the lads to do better on lap times. I think there's just been a bit of an incident between a couple of the drivers. Talking to the pit team, are you, Bags? Fair. So Potter Pot just pulled over at the side of the track, probably just having a little reply to whoever he was involved with the incident with. There you go, CJ. Personal invite by the boss man himself. Watch it, Baggy. He's quick, mate. He's quick. You know, if he gets too quick, don't be afraid to, like, kick him. Steve chasing Tatey Libs down then. Tatey just hanging out the way. Oh, I think he's just run himself wide though, actually put himself on the grass. Again, that last corner is going to be a little bit difficult as well, I think. Steve Scooby and Big Les Kun need to avoid each other on that pit lane entrance as well. So you see Big Les Kun coming out of the pits, fresh set of tyres. He has burnt off about half a tank of fuel. So looking to better his lap time. Currently sitting in 7th then for Big Les. Just holding off, letting a couple of the back markers, possibly not back markers, but a couple of the guys on hot laps go through, being as he's just come out of the pits. Respectful thing to do. Oh yeah, I forgot Bags. I forgot. Yeah, so just be careful, CJ. All right, because Baggy eats kryptonite. It's about the only snail in the world that does. But he's been pulling out some. Come on, get your bloody words out. He's been pulling out some results. I'll start that again. Yeah, he's been pulling out some results recently in these and the Nissans. So fair play to you, Bags. Potter's closed that gap on Dylan to 44.5 then for Potter at 24th lap. So he's going for a fresh set. See how much fuel he puts in, hardly any by the look of it. So Baggy Snails on his tail. Let's see if we can go on board. Give it a bit of that, see how Baggy Snails gets on behind Potter McPot. He's not doing bad. Oh, Potter McPot just staying out of the way, letting Baggy through. Dylan also just cruising round at the minute. Big Les Kun then, so bettered his time, put himself in 3rd. He was currently sitting in 7th, pushed himself up into 3rd place with a 44.5. Let's push Mocking Weeks down into 4th. Dory into 5th. He's not bettered his time. Steve Scooby also in 6th, not bettered his time either. Rear Wheel in 7th, 45.0 for Rear Wheel. 45.2 for Baggy Snails, currently sitting in 8th. Stewie Mack in 9th place with a 45.3. West Ham Daz still sitting in the pits with a 45.4. Mad Quack, again new driver to me, looks like he's been in and out of the race. His current fastest is a 52.0. Don Dotter just pulling over at the side of the track. Weed King, oh, I didn't look at Don Dotter's fastest laps, apologies. 45.7 for Don Dotter, that's 12th place for him. So Rose Mike, he's Clean Racing Mike from New York City, apparently. So Weed King looks like he's left and come back as well, so his current fastest 47.1. And Tatey Libs 46.4 for Tatey. 14th for him at the minute. So pretty full lobby, only one more space left. As I say, always makes for better racing when there's more people on track. And as I say, in these short tracks with these cars, there'll always be someone on the track to fight with. Whether it be fighting back markers to get past them or fighting for position. It's such a short track that there'll always be someone just around the corner or right on your rear end. So Potter is now behind Baggy. Maggie now just pulling out of the way, letting Potter through. So just 2.5 minutes left of quali. So we'll stick with Potter and see if he does a clean lap, unless he runs out of fuel. So yeah, looks like he's cruising, possibly with very little fuel. So that's that lap done. He might not even make it round to the pits. So Big Les Kun then, he's turned up late in the lobby but plopped himself into 3rd place. He does like these little Toyotas, does Big Les. So Mocking Weeks in 4th. His fastest lap now, not showing either. Again, right down on fumes then for Mocking Weeks. Trying to get that car as light as possible. I like that picture. Great big dark smoker smashed right there. Look, subscribe people, subscribe, it says just behind that photographer's head. So rear wheel has bettered his time, so 44.9 for rear wheel. Still keeps him in 7th though. Baggy Snails parked up at the side of the track, so only 1 minute left of quali. Mad Quack up to 9th, 45.2 for Mad Quack. Stewie Mac 10th, 45.3 for Stu. It's amazing. Usually when I put my camera on Stu, he drives himself off the track, which he nearly did then. Many position changes at the end of this quali session. Weed King in ghost mode. Ross Mike being hounded by Potter McPot. And then probably driving himself off track. That'll be it, that'll be quali over. So positions, I'm going to miss them again, I know it. Positions are Dylan in 1st, Mocking Weeks in 2nd, Potter McPot in 3rd, Big Les Cunt in 4th. Always do that. Why do I always miss it? Right, let's try that again. Potter McPot in 4th, Big Les Cunt, sorry, Potter McPot in 3rd, Big Les Cunt in 4th, Dory in 5th. So lights are on. Guys revving their engines. I've not got time to read through the start grid now. And they're off. Good start by everyone. Rear wheels had a good start. He's right on the back of Dory already. So Dylan Kilton losing his lead to Mocking Weeks. Potter McPot's all over the back of him as well. So the guy's actually keeping it clean through that 4th corner. Dylan Kilton coming for a move right back on Mocking Weeks on the inside, and Druids taking that place. Potter McPot still in 3rd. He's got Big Les couldn't go for a move down the inside, not quite making that move stick though. So managing to get away with that one then, Potter McPot. So Big Les Cunt into 4th, Dory in 5th. Steve Scooby in 6th, Baggy Snails, so Steve Scooby and Baggy Snails moving up a position. Don Dotter in 8th, Stewie Mac in 9th, Tatey Lives in 10th, West Ham Daz in 11th, Weed King 420 in 12th, Rear Wheel 13, why is it flicking between, it's not letting me go to rear wheel for some reason. There we go, Rear Wheel in 13th, Rose Mike in 14th and Mad Quack in 15th. Oh, Mad Quack's just run himself off track, unfortunate. So back up to the front. Dylan Curtin then, so he's got almost a second lead. Let's just jump to this little fight here and get some on camera. So we've got Potter McPot chasing down Mocking Weeks then, less than half a second back. Behind him, got Big Les Kun chasing down Potter, again closing the gap. So still a real tight battle in this. What lap are we on now? Second lap. Oh, sorry, third lap we're on now. So Mocking Weeks just losing the back end there, allowing Potter to close that gap. Nearly made a move on him down the inside at Druids. Big Les Kun as well, he's not dropped off the back. So a tight little battle really for second place at the minute, with Big Les Kun, Dory, Steve Scooby, Potter McPot and Mocking Weeks. Made up a bit of a gap up to Don Dotter, 2.8 seconds back to the boys slightly further back down the pack. We'll just jump up to Dylan, so he has got a 1.2 second lead over Mocking Weeks at the minute. Mocking Weeks still under some serious pressure from Potter McPot and Big Les Kun. Potter having to go defensive. Big Les Kun putting some serious pressure on him. He's still having to go defensive through here. It's on to Cooper. Not losing any time to Mocking Weeks though. Potter McPot, he's hauling Big Les with him. So again, just closing the gap. Got an inside line now as well, Potter McPot, so he's going to make a move onto the Brabham straight, taking that place off Mocking Weeks for second. So good move by Potter McPot. He's got Big Les Kun coming down his right hand side as well, has Mocking Weeks, so going to lose that place to Big Les Kun as well. So down into fourth then from that one manoeuvre from Potter McPot, allowing 2-place drop for him. Dory is only just behind him now as well. Steve Scooby for close company, only 0.2 of a second back for Steve Scooby as well. So you can see how close and tight this battle is up front. As I say, with the slipstream on in these cars, it does make for some really good racing. Unfortunately, if you do get, you know, shunted off the back of a battle, then it is a real struggle to catch back up. So a little bit of contact between Steve Scooby and Dory. Nothing too dramatic, just a little bit of paint swapping. Steve Scooby looking for a bit of an inside move on Mocking Weeks as well. Just flick the camera up a bit. Let's go on board with Potter McPot. Oh, stupid PlayStation cameras. So 3 seconds back. Oh, so Potter just losing that Toyota then. So that's allowed Big Les Kun to take that place back off him. He's got Steve Scooby now right behind him, so Steve Scooby getting past Mocking Weeks as well. And looking for a move on Potter McPot. So Potter got a bit of work to do to catch back up with Big Les. Just, I mean, he was lucky not to lose more places really. Those cars, once the back end goes, they can be a bit hairy. So he's only 0.3 of a second back. I will flick through the order. So Steve Scooby then into fourth. Mocking Weeks, he took first place in the first corner, but then he's promptly been knocked back into 5th place. As I say, some tight battles for that second spot. Good fight between Dory and Don Dotter at the minute as well for 5th place. Don in 6th, Dory in 7th. Rear Wheel 72 in 8th. So he's 4.5 seconds back off the fight with Don Dotter and Dory. He's got Tatey Lives closing him down a little bit. Baggy Snails, he's had a bit of a moment. He's down into 10th then. He's got Stewie Mack for company. As I say, the loudest car on the grid. West Ham Daz down in 12th. Weed King in 13th. Just getting his wheels on the grass, looking to keep that one straight. And Rose Mike in 14th. So looking like he's been lapped already then. So Dylan Kjorten then, so he's lost a bit of time, 2.3 seconds the gap now between Dylan and Big Les. Big Les has extended that gap a tiny bit to Potter McPot, but they have dropped off Steve Scooby and Mocking Weeks by 1.3 seconds. So Potter McPot closing that gap massively on Big Les Kun. He's got a nice tight line through Druids. Can he put Big Les under some pressure? won't help the fight to catch up with first place this battle in, but you know, a place is a place at the end of the day, and it's all points. So taking a nice wide line to get the nice line out for Potter. So that gap just staying at 0.3 of a second. So Weed King there going spinning off in the background. So just gathering himself up, putting himself back on track. So we have lost Rose Mike, I think. Possibly not enjoying these cars on this track. So Dylan managed to pull away from Big Les Kun and Pot's fight then. Potter doing everything he can into this little Toyota to try and make that gap smaller, which he has done to Big Les. Still 0.3 of a second. He does lose a little bit coming out of that last corner. Keeping the pressure on him. To open the gap up a little bit more to Mocky Weeks. Mocky Weeks getting back past Steve Scooby then, so he'll be looking to close the gap on Potter McPot. Steve Scooby won't be letting him run off with it, I'm sure. Don Dotter then into 6th. He's made a bit of a gap on Dory. Just running a little bit wide there through Druids. That's allowed rear wheel 72 to catch him. So all the guys running on the super soft tyres tonight. So rear wheels right on the back of Dory then. Gets a nice tight line through there. Dory maybe struggling a little bit with this car, maybe. Baggy Snell's in 9th. Out on his own a little bit, just Baggy. Tatey lives 2.7 seconds behind him. Oh, but Tatey just runs himself wide onto the sand. That's going to lose him loads of time. That's going to put him under some serious pressure from West Ham Daz as well. And Weed King's coming up right behind West Ham Daz. So looking to keep that place then. Still quite tight little fight at the back of the pack as well. Dylan Kilton then, he's 4 seconds up the road from Big Les Kun and Potter McPot. So Rose Mike has actually left the lobby now, not just the race. Potter McPot again doing everything he can to close that gap on Big Les Kun. He's having a good drive tonight, is Big Les. I think he quite likes these Toyotas. So 0.5 of a second then the gap between Big Les and Potter McPot. So we'll start to see the guys coming in, I would say, in about let's just have a look at a bit of tyre wear and make a bit of a concerted decision here. Let's have a look. Running about half a tank of fuel, some slightly more than others. I'm saying about another, I'm going to say about 9 laps. What about lap 20 maybe? We'll see. So Dylan Kilton has extended his gap even further, but in the background Potter McPot's got past Big Les Kun, who's run himself wide on the sand on the first corner. So unfortunate for Big Les Kun, he's lost loads of places due to that. He's down into 5th now, so being overtaken by Potter McPot, Steve Scooby and Mocking Weeks. So a good bit of driving from Potter McPot, just kept the pressure on, like I say. Oh, and that was someone going absolutely firing off track there. I don't know who that was. Someone just went absolutely firing off track. West Ham does. So I don't know what happened there, but I just saw a bit of a torpedo in the background. So Weed King struggling, he's 33 seconds back from West Ham Daz. I mean, West Ham Daz is parked at the side of the track, so he will take that place unless West Ham Daz sticks his foot on the gas. But we're up with this man, Dylan Curtin, 4.5 seconds up the road. Let's see if we can get on board with this. I hate you, PlayStation. Make your mind up. Try that one. No. Right, we'll stick with this view. We'll go on board with a lap with Dylan. So just holding it wide a little bit as it hits the first turn, as it heads up the hill towards Druids. Again, holding it out wide, hitting the apex of Druids. Got to be careful not to press the gas too early on that one. Coming down the hill, easy to lose the back end of the car. Again, easy to run it wide through that one. So a little left-right kink, got to be careful through here not to run it wide on the exit. And into Clark. And back onto the start-finish straight. So that's a lap on board with Dylan Curtin. We'll just see what sort of time he's put in. Blip 45.5 for Dylan. Fastest lap currently so far is a 44.6 by Steve Scooby. So Steve Scooby currently sitting in 5th place. Big Les Cunt taking that place back off him then after his incident into the sand just here. Keeping it clean this time though then, Big Les. But that's allowed Potter McPot to run away up the road a little bit back towards Dylan. Not that he's gained much time on him. Dylan now 5.3 seconds up the road. Potter McPot might be able to close that gap. I'll keep an eye on that. So not that time. Just getting that corner wrong through McLaren. So losing a little bit more time to Dylan. So Mocking Weeks up into 3rd then. 3.7 seconds back from Potter. Got Big Les Kun closing him down. Big Les Kun is not happy about going off. He's looking to do everything he can to get back up into the fight with Potter McPot at least. Certainly wants this place off Mocking Weeks. Of the track as humanly possible then, Big Les. But Steve Scooby's not out of this fight yet. He's back on the back of Big Les Kun as well. Nice tight line through there for Steve Scooby. So consistent 45s then for Steve Scooby. Weed King just on the sand in the background. Good fight for 3rd at the minute. Mocking Weeks, Big Les Cunt and Steve Scooby in this little fight. Let's have some of that for a minute. Oh, but he's run himself wide then, Mocking Weeks. That's allowed Big Les Cunt to look for it down the inside. Not quite got the speed coming out of the corner. That's allowed Mocking Weeks to keep that place. So Potter McPot has put himself in the pits then. So I wasn't far off. It's lap 20 now. So Potter McPot in the pits, dropping himself down into 5th at the minute, 6th now. But these guys will have to pit, so we'll see where that brings them out in relation to him. Oh, so nice tight fight then. But Big Les Kunt's got the inside line for this one. That's allowed him to take that place off Mocking Weeks. And back up into 2nd then for Big Les. Again, they will have to pit. Oh, a little bit of contact between Mocking Weeks and Steve Scooby. Steve Scooby now storming past Mocking Weeks. That didn't look too violent. I didn't see anyone's car go flying sideways or anything, so possibly just a bit of sideways contact. But Mocking Weeks then closing the gap back on Steve Scooby, who has closed the gap on Big Les as well. So still a good fight up front then for 2nd at the minute. So Potter McPot back out the pits in 5th. 12 seconds back off Mocking Weeks. 25 seconds off top spot. So we'll just stay on board with these guys. See whether anyone comes in the pits. No, they're all staying out. But Potomac Pot will be closing the gap massively with the fresher tyres. So we are currently on board with Mocking Weeks. He's in a bit of a fight with Steve Scooby and Big Les Cunt for second place. It's been an ongoing battle really. Potomac Pot's in this fight as well, but he has just dived in the pits. It was a few seconds up the road. I was in a fight with Big Les Cunt. It was Big Les Cunt, Potomac Pot. Oh, he's just run himself wide again, Big Les Cunt, so that's allowed Steve Scooby, Mocking Weeks, they're all coming in the pits. Big Les Cunt is also coming in the pit, so not that drastic for Big Les Cunt. It is now. So unfortunately he's wasted a lot of time through there. So Potomac Pot then coming through. He's currently up into third place. In front of him Steve Scooby, who stayed out. Oh sorry, apologies, Steve Scooby has made a jump on Potomac Pot, but not a lot of fuel left. Looking possibly to do a splash and dash at the end. Maybe looking for third place is his strategy. Potomac Pot's 4 seconds back from him, and we'll have to see if he can close that gap. 3.9 then. NGR Burnt Fry, how you doing, brother? The man, the myth, the legend. Thank you, my friend. So we are currently on board with Potomac Pot. He's up into second now after Steve Scooby has gone in the pits to refuel. Looks like he may have forgotten to refuel on that last pit stop, so that's going to have absolutely wrecked his race. Down into 7th at the minute then for Steve Scooby. Potomac Pot, so he's 24 seconds back from Dylan. That's going to be a tall order in 11 minutes to claw that back. Baggy Snails, he's played a bit of a blinder, he's up into third at the minute, but he does have to pit. Mocking Weeks back up into fourth. He will take that place off Baggy when he pits. And looking to go to the end of the race as well then, Mocking. But he is only 7 seconds back from Potter, still quite a tall order, but anything can happen. So Rear Wheel 72 has managed to push himself up into 5th place then. He's pit as well, so as long as he keeps himself clean, he's looking for a good result. Big Les Cunt down in 6th then after a little bit of an incident. He's run himself wide a couple of times onto the sand. So that's pushed him down a few spots. He's putting in purple sectors though. But yeah, he's had a bit of a... Start of the race was all good for Big Les. Came into quali, still putting in purple sectors as well. Came into quali, popped himself right at the front of the pack. Was having a real good fight at the front between Potomac Pot, Mocking Weeks, Big Les and Steve Scooby, and then just, as I say, just ran himself wide on a couple of corners. That's dropped him into 6th. So Steve Scooby again, I think he may have just forgotten to refuel on that last pit stop, so that's wrecked his race. He's had to stop twice, opposed to everyone else's once. Don Dotter in 8th. Again, fully fueled, plenty of tyres. All of the guys have been in the pits now. Dory in 9th place. He's got Potomac Pot chasing him down, using him for a bit of a tow. Doing what he can. Oh, the Dory running himself wide, so this corner is an awkward one. It's off camber, over a hill, over a brow. And quite easy to lose traction on the cars and do exactly what Dory's just done there. Chuck yourself on the sand. So Tatey Libs just keeping it off the sand, keeping it on the black stuff. He's up into 10th then, Tatey. His tyres are pretty battered, but he's got plenty of fuel to go to the end. Stewie Mack in 11th place. He may have to be careful on fuel. I think Weed King will be fine. He'll get through to the end of the race, no problem. So Dylan Curtin then has just popped it in the fastest lap of the race with a 44.4. But he is now only 7.3 seconds back from Potter, so it looks like Dylan may have actually done 2 stops. 7.6 seconds back. Okay, that is actually doable. That gap possibly not coming down quick enough. Still at 7.6 then between Potter and Dylan. 7.5 now, no, back up to 7.6. So Weed King again just running himself wide on that first corner. So Mocking Weeds in third then, he's 9 seconds back from Potter. He's kept himself in the fight really. Although he's had a bit of a tumble with Big Les and Steve Scooby. He's kept himself pretty clean, kept that third place. Good strategy from Mocking Weeds rear wheel, so he's up into fourth then. But he has got Big Les Cunt chasing him down pretty damn quick. We know Big Les Cunt's fast in these cars. So 1.5 the gap between rear wheel and Big Les. Nothing to worry about from behind. 7.6 seconds back to Steve Scooby. Baggy Snails in 7th then. So late pit stop for Bags. Don Dotter in 8th. Dory in 9th. Just running a bit slow there, possibly staying out of the way for Mocking Weeks. Stewie Mack in 10th again, just boys staying out of the way, being really respectful. It's good to see. Whether they are all in a chat and are talking to each other, I don't know. Tatey lives in 11th then. Trying to use Potter McPot for a bit of a tow. Follow his lines, Tatey, that's the way. Again, Wee King just having a bit of a nightmare. He's run himself off the track lots this race. It's unfortunate. Again there. So back up to P1. 9.1 seconds up the road then for Dylan. So Potter not managing to close that gap on him. He's actually lost a bit of time to Mocking Weeks behind him. So whether he lost a bit of time getting past Tatey Lives, I don't know. I'm all good, Bird Fry. Sorry, mate. I'm watching the race. I am trying to keep up with the stream, but I am watching the race as well. Yeah, I'm okay, mate. I'm okay. Busy, but I'm okay. So Dylan Curtin then extending his gap 10 seconds up the road. He's still holding top spot as well then, Dylan, with the fastest lap with a 44.4 as well. So there's only 5 minutes left of this race. Some quite big gaps appearing now. So we'll flick through and see if we can find a bit of a fight going on. There's not a lot really at the minute. A little bit too spaced out for any action. So carrying on, extending his gap then, Dylan, 11.5 seconds. Again, Potter McPot losing a little bit more time to Mocking Weeks. Whether he's just trying to keep it clean so no incidents happen. He's got plenty of fuel, plenty of tyres. Big enough gap behind him, just keep it clean. That's going to secure second place for Potter McPot. Dylan Curtin, he's played a blinder. Qualified in first. He did lose first place in the first lap to Mocking Weeks, but promptly took it back in Druids in the second corner. So yeah, currently sitting in third place then, Mocking Weeks. Big Les Kunz closed the gap to him, 4.3 seconds. Don't think there's quite enough time yet left in the race to take that place off him. Only 3 minutes remaining. He's got to do over a second a lap, or a second a minute. So yeah, it's looking quite... Oh, but Big Les couldn't spin it off. Let me just flick back to Big Les. So he's got to be careful. Steve Scooby's right behind him. He is in a fight with Steve Scooby. Steve Scooby's up to pace as well. So the last ditch effort by Steve Scooby then to take this place off Big Les Kun. Yeah, just keeping it a little bit respectful there, Big Les, knowing that Steve Scooby had the ultimate pace on you really through that corner there. So losing out then, Big Les Kun, in the last minutes of this race. It's unfortunate for Big Les. So that's allowed Steve Scooby to take that place off him into fourth place. Again, got to be careful. Big Les Kun is not one to lay down and let it lie. So we will just flick up to the front and work our way through the pack. So Dylan in first then. Comfortable win for Dylan at the minute, unless he has a tragic accident. Potomac Pot in second, so 15 seconds the gap between first and second then. Mocking Weeks close that gap a little bit down to 4 seconds, just under 4 seconds now. But only 1 minute left of the race. Steve Scooby in a real good fight with Big Les. So Big Les taking that place off him into Druids. So back up into fourth then for Big Les. Oh, and now Steve Scooby's done the exact same thing that Big Les did last lap. So he's now got to be careful that Don Dotter, I think Don Dotter might be a little bit too far back to worry Steve Scooby in that incident. Although that gap has come down massively. But he's under some serious pressure from Baggy Snails down now in the last lap of this race. Baggy Snails going for a look down the inside and taking the place off Don Dotter then. So a good move from Baggy. So literally one more last. Don Dotter's looking for another look back down into the first corner. Keeping it clean, bit of touching, but that's some good driving through there. So Baggy Snails just winning out on that one, I think, at the minute. He will have the inside line for the next corner. So race time has finished. Potomac Pot has already crossed the line in second place, so he secured a good place in the series. Mocking Weeks in third. Big Les Kun will bring it home in fourth place. We'll just flick up to Dylan as he's coming across the line now. Steve Scooby right behind him in fifth. Baggy Snails then pulled a blinder at the end. Sixth place for Baggy. Don Dotter in seventh. Rear Wheel in eighth. Dory in ninth. Tatey Lives in 10th. Stewie Mac in 12th. And Weed King 420 in 13th. We did have a guy leave the lobby or a disconnect or something. So Rose Mike, he was in the race but then left. So some real good tight racing again. I told you these Toyotas would be fun. Let me just give my usual congratulations. So Dylan Potsky, where's he gone? Just scroll past him. Mocking Weeks, that's the three. Where's the congratulations button? I press this almost every night of the week. I should know where the damn thing is by now. Yeah, some real good racing again by the P1 boys in the Toyotas. Always a good watch. So that was round 8 of the P1 Toyota Super Concept Cup. It's a 10-week league, so there's 2 more rounds left. But there's still plenty going on. So for me coming up, I've got, let me think now, what are we on, Thursday? So Sunday I'm back with the P1 boys doing the Nissan GR2 race. Monday I'm with the Next Gen Racing doing the Chloe Hewitt Cup, or the Chewit Cup, or the Chewit Cooper Cup, that's the minis. As I said earlier, the GT3 race, team versus team event, that's kicked off again. So that is these boys. Let me just say no problem to, it's there, look, blammo. So the team versus team event is Next Gen Racing, these boys P1 who you've just watched tonight, Mature Racing Club and SimFX Racing Club. So 4 online sim racing groups are now involved in the team versus team race. So that's Wednesday, that starts at 8:30, as does the Mini Cooper Cup. So I didn't realise, I've struggled a little bit with timings on some of these. I didn't realise the Next Gen races started at 8:30, so I've been flapping a little bit. Majority of races I commentate over or do anything with are 9 o'clock, so let's just give these boys another no problem. There you go. So that's my week sorted. So back Sunday night for the Nissans, Monday night for the Minis, Wednesday night for the GT3s or the GR3s, depending on how you look at it, and then Thursday next week again for round 9 of the Toyotas. So I hope you like what you're watching. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, all that sort of stuff. I'll put links in description below to P1 Racing Group. And yeah, I'll catch you on the flip side. My name's darksmoka. I'm out of here.